Just imagine this trade now. See where they took the high previous. I think we did this in class. They rate this high, right? And they sold off. But this high right here that rate the previous high failed to break structure. Just making this high a weak high. That's why this trade, this pair is so bullish. Where are they coming for? This CB void. Where is the CB void? You can see there's no buy interaction. There's no buy interaction from that zone to this zone. There's no buy interaction. And remember, our CB needs to be covered with what? Body candle. Unlike fair value gap. So this CB where we have this sell-side imbalance, there's an inefficiency on the buy side. There's no buy interaction on that zone. So that's probably potentially where price is coming to read. And we can see on the weekly, it bounced off this zone. It came into the previous week. Now, how do you know it came into the previous week? You have to put your Fibonacci on the previous week, look for premium and discounts. Right? Now, when you look for premium and discount of your previous week, where did price trade into? This is your previous week. It tapped almost the 50% of the previous week dealing range. Almost the 50% of the previous week dealing range. Probably next week we trade into this fair value gap. And that fill up the fair value gap to be fair enough, or bounce off the fair value gap, or do 50% of this weekly fair value gap and continue bullish. So for the next week, we are still going to be bullish on this pair. We're already seeing that this week is going to close as a doji, pulling back up. So next week we'll have price trading and taking out previous week low, bounce off this fair value gap. Then this is their ultimate target. They're coming to fill up this void. There's nothing anybody can do. They are coming for this void. And this void, we all understand that CB is part of liquidity. So the way we have it on higher time frame, we also have it on lower time frame. And why is this zone very strong? This zone is strong because it took out liquidity at this high and broke structure. That makes that high a what? A strong high. I'm just using the body candle. It took out liquidity, right? And broke structure. Intermediate short-term low, intermediate short-term high, lower high. This high is a lower high from this other high. So I will call this high, it took out this high will be a higher high from the other high. But the high that is above, we can see that this high is lower than this one. That's why I call this a lower high. But this high took out this high. That's why this is an intermediate short-term high, intermediate short-term low. This low is inside this low and this low. So now that we have created a lower low, what happened next? We failed to break this low. Thus, we create, okay, they took out liquidity, lower low, they took out liquidity, and price failed to break this low, thus making this zone a higher low. So on the weekly, we have a higher low right here, a lower low, a higher low. After a higher low, what do we look for? A higher high. Because now we already see that price has taken out this high. So the essence, what are we just doing in this pair is just to fill up this imbalance. To fill up this imbalance. So every sell this pair is claiming to sell, it's just for higher high. I was looking at selling this pair from that daily order block, but it was massively buying with GA. Massively bullish with GA. So I had a 4-hour zone that it bounced off from, and eventually I marked a 4-hour zone, and it actually bounced off from that 4-hour zone, showing you that it's respecting the bullish PDRAs. So in terms of liquidity, you have to check your higher time frame. Now you see that we have a draw on this CB void. We have a draw on that zone. We took out this high this week. Now next week, I eventually took out previous week low, then hunt for the high. So let's look at the 3-day candle. You can see we have the fair value gap. So this is what I will just do next week. Mark out my fair value gap and see what price we do inside that zone.
Interesting.
I'll just see what price I want to do inside this zone next week. If I see a good reaction inside this fair value gap on the 50% or on the few, you buy it up. Now on the 3-day for the past Thursday, which is today, Wednesday and Tuesday, price has been buying. Where is it targeting? This high. So if you have a retracement now for London, for New York, if you're buying to that high, it's 100 and what? 2 pip. Because all you need, you want to see price create a higher high, higher than this high, somewhere here. And what can you see? I can see what this
CB.
This CB right here. And you see that price bounced off of that CB. That's this week. Bounced off of the CB. So now they are claiming this high. They will probably have a proper feel of this CB.
And close body candle there.
A proper feel of this CB, which is almost like 50% of this whole weekly 3-day and weekly CB. So we can close into this area. So anything that is happening between now and tomorrow is to look for buys. So look for buys. This week bounced off nothing, thus making this zone an inducement. So if price break structure above this high, this would be a potential area to look for buy. Are you getting me, guys?
Yes,
if price break above this high, this area will be a potential area to what? Look for buys. If it breaks above this zone with body candle, probably today and tomorrow, is pushing up, which I'm expecting price to do. So let's look at the daily. So I'm just going to leave that 3-day zone marked. That 3-day zone is usually very strong. 3-day zones are usually very strong zones. I've seen it do wonders on some pairs. Now, a higher low. Basically, on the daily now, we are having more structure, a higher high. Is that noise on the background? I don't know. I will remove it from the Zoom. Is that person? A higher low. Right? I don't want to refine that 3-day OB. Price can just bounce off that 3-day OB. Now we have a higher low right here. But what I am seeing below that 3-day OB is this unmitigated demand. It's too clean. This zone is too clean. There's something I don't like about this pair. It does not have a clean price action. So if I want to see what's happening here, I just check AUD-CHF because they are opposite of each other. AUD-CHF has more cleaner price action than this pair. So whatever is doing, AUD-CHF is doing the opposite. She's selling. You can see the higher highs and higher lows. See another higher high right here. So when that low is taken out, it now becomes an intermediate short-term low, right? Then we have this, the higher high next. Now let me show you AUD-CHF. Look at ADCHF. You see whatever Euro AUD is doing, ADCHF, she's doing it at the bottom. She's doing it at the bottom. Now look at ADCHF on the weekly. She's targeting weekly BC. Can you see that? She's targeting weekly BC. This same thing Euro AUD is doing, looking for above. Now ADCHF is doing the same thing. She's coming for this zone. The opposite, she's going above. Now AUD, let me show you let's look at the 3-day. You can see the 3 days pulling down. They already took out this liquidity, what Euro AUD did. Now they are pulling down. Where are they pulling down? They're pulling down probably to fill up what? This zone. We also have this low right here. So sometimes if you don't understand what Euro AUD is doing, you can look at ADCHF, they just do the opposite. ADCHF, she's selling massively after she reacted from this area. Now, looking at this, you are seeing a bullish order block. This is just a false bullish order block. If you look clearly, you see that the bottom is just a clean low. Very clean low. So that order block, just like we have this one now making like this very clean high right here. She's targeting the high. ADCHF has this clean low. So this is where price is coming from, this low. So if you have an entry, you can sell to that low, which will give you just 100 pip. Okay, this 50 something. Euro AUD has more pip count than ADCHF. This 50 something pip. Now looking at intraday liquidity. On the daily, we can see that the daily high has been taken out on this area. That was how we had the short-term sale. Market maker buy model was completed, right? The market maker buy model was completed. Daily high was taken out. Now, when they take out buy side liquidity, they'll come for sell side liquidity. Where's sell side liquidity? This low or this low. I don't know if you're following. When they take out buy side, they plunge down towards sell side liquidity. That's why I had this so marked out. Now on the 12-hour, I can see this 12-hour hidden base right there. Now let's look at the 9 hours. Because in my opinion, I feel like she has set the high for the week. In as much as weekly range, we have liquidity resting above. This is already Thursday. She has set the high for the week. So I can look at this area for potential sales, which price is already reacting off that zone. On the 9 hour, where will I be looking to take this sell side liquidity? Now look at the 6 hour. Look at the 4 hour. Nine hour already gave a reaction. On the 4 hour, I am seeing a non-mitigated demand, which looks very too clean. That body candle on the sell is too clean and it has not been mitigated. A non-mitigated supply, which is this zone, and that's almost where I have my 50%. So if I will take that sell, I'm just going to look for use a very low risk. Why? It's overall bullish. For now, it's making a bullish corrective move. So any sell you're taking is counter trading the what corrective move trend. So you have to use a very low risk. Whereas I take profit, I'll put it exactly at that low that bounced off. But you see on the 9 hour, it's already what? Reacting off the 9 hour. And remember, 9 hour is stronger than a 6 hour. 9 hour is stronger than 6 hour. 6 hour is stronger than 4 hour. 4 hour is stronger than what? 2 hour. In as much as a 4 hour order block is stronger than a 2 hour order block. A 9 hour order block is stronger than a 4 hour order block. So let me look at the 3 hours. Sometimes I like using the 3 hours. So the 3 hour, we have a clean order block right here. Now, why am I using this order block? The daily high was swept. They might, which is buy side liquidity was what? Taken out. So they might want to trade to the sell side of liquidity if they give you that entry. When they take buy side liquidity, they trade into sell side liquidity. That's the only reason why I am looking at this word sell. When they take buy side liquidity, they trade into sell side liquidity. See now on the 9 hour, it's filled already, but we still have a what? A fair value gap that is left to be unfilled on the 3 hour. But what's happening now? They bounced off that fair value gap. So this pair might actually be selling right now at the moment. Are you checking your 5 minutes? What did I say? It's actually selling. It's actually selling from the 9 hour. Are you checking it, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Selling. Because it just tapped on this 9 hour other block, which is here, and just started selling. On the 3 hour, bounced off this 3 hour fair value gap. You see the rejection? Very serious. Now, if you're looking at the intraday bias, you just be waiting for price to tap on maybe a 30-minute range or a 40-minute, a 1 hour range. Price might not necessarily get to all that zone you're looking at. So guys,
Yeah.
this is this is gonna be my best entry. And you can see the stop in as much as I refine. 47 pip stop. This particular head is extremely volatile. Now, where is my target? I'll target this low just by this fair value gap. How many pips take profit?
2,000 or
About
something.
10 pips take profit.
3,000.
I'm going to set an alert right here. There was a day I was taking class, I was teaching Euro JPY, and I was about to enter that trade. While I was waiting in class, that trade just started flying. I couldn't enter. I didn't give a re-entry. He left. and bought for like how many days? So sometimes you might not necessarily just fill your zone. You might just do an offer. You might just do a fill of the half of the fair value gap like this. That's why some persons will take, because remember we have a breaker right here. That's why some person will take their entry like this. Look at it. They'll put their entry at the fill of the fair value gap, right? There is their stop loss above the high of the candle that carries the fair value gap. People can put their entry at the fair value gap filling of the fair value gap, right? And their stop loss will be above the high of the candle that holds the fair value gap. Remember what ICT taught, intraday trading. Now, if you look at this low, and this low. You can see there's a trend line right here.
Hanging fruit.
Let me see. There's a trend line. There's a bullish trend line right here. There's a bullish trend line right there. So we see how price rate this high. We already rated this high. I think I fixed it on the other side. There's a long object. See how price took this high for now. So we have a stop point. Then we see we close below this zone. Close below this zone. So entry is at the fair value gap. Stop loss above the candle that holds the fair value gap, which is this bearish candle. Usually, I will not even take my entry like that. If I go to the lower time frame on this break structure, I use the lower time frame order block because it's very big. This pair, the P value is crazy. If I check this stop loss now, it's over 100 and something pips. Look at it. It's okay, 56 pip. Take profit 300 pip, which is like 1 to 7 to reward. So what I just want price to do, come for this low, come for this low. Their low resistance liquidity. Not relatively color. That's just what I want price to do. Now, if you go to lower time frame, which is intraday, let's look at 1 hour. Let me put intraday. This is a low hanging fruit. Now, intraday, where did price react from? 9 hour, we saw that react from a 9 hour zone. Where did price react from? It reacts from on the 9 hour, 3 hour is showing as a fair value gap, right? Now it reacts from this hidden base. And that was a 0 pip drawdown. On the 9 hour is a fair value gap, but on this zone, it's a hidden base. Now, where will my stop be more refined above the hidden base? Which is in line with this breaker. So price can decide to stop upon the high and come for this breaker. But I believe this reacts off the breaker, bounced off the breaker, this hidden base bounced off the breaker. So we have this breaker sweep this high. So we have our stop point right here. I hope you guys can hear me. It's raining in my side.
Yes, ma'am, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Okay. There's our target. And trust me, this pair can do this target today. Today to do it. Yesterday, it moved and broke structure. Today, it just came back and reacted on that hidden base. So on my zone, I'll just fix. HB means hidden base. So we know the low is Asian low. Price can come for this low. So that's all, guys. Now, the respected previous day zone. You see how the respected previous day zone? This is a breaker. For most of it, I don't know how to mark breaker. Breaker is the last up candle. Look at it. Impulsive up move. Before you have this impulsive up move that later was broken by price. So this candle was what facilitated the sweep of that high. This hidden base was what facilitated the taking out of that low. So that low that was taken out is the demand zone that was taken out. Remember what I said, when your demand zone is taken out, you cannot be looking for buy. So I will call here a shift. Market structure shift. And see the way it's falling. One thing about this pair is like a robot. She does not give a re-entry. Moving and moving. That's what this pair does. She's like a robot. And guys, we go to the 15 minutes. Go and check. Price bounced off 50% of the 15-minute fair value gap. Let me put it on 15 minutes so you can see. I don't know what that means, right?
Yes, ma'am. Consequent encroachment.
Consequence encroachment. So then I thought all you need to know about liquidity. So just be preparing your question if you have any. Look at it. Let's take this trade. Can you see that? That's it.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
That's enough confirmation to take this trade, Abi. Just rejected all that zone. So it's not every time that you look for other blocks. There's a lot of things that you need. Trading is not just about other blocks. Trading is a lot. Somebody is waiting for the sponsor candle. See, price is not bother going for the sponsor candle. Are you seeing that? It didn't go. Look at the sponsor candle right here. What happened? We have our breaker at this zone.